from this at mentions panel on the left-hand side of our actions module, if we click on the little sprocket gear that looks like a pretty standard settings gear, it's our alert rules. And if we click on that, now under the configure alert rules, we see this broken up again into 4 different tabs. And so the activity alerts at this first tab here are then broken down into a number of different sections. You would use these alerts similar to, sorry, I'm just going to refresh my screen because the scroll wasn't working. So these alerts are broken down into the category or the module that they relate to. So the very top one here would be your event alerts. And this relates to any events that you have scheduled on your calendar. For me, because I check my calendar enough, I have these toggled off. But if you had them turned on, you could get an alert anytime that you have a meeting within an hour, and then update the meeting notes and status following the meeting. We can click on the edit pencil in the right-hand corner to see some of the deeper details about what would trigger this alert to happen. And so in this case, we can see it's related to the event module. You have a meeting within an hour. The status equals planned, so it would be a planned upcoming meeting. Whoever the meeting is assigned to, if it's the current user, so you, then you would be the person to get the alert. Whatever the start time and day is, then we're sending this alert less than an hour. I think this should be before, technically. And then the activity type equals a meeting, and so it's only going to send an alert for specifically meeting scheduled events. We could add some additional conditions or context if needed. And then at the very bottom, which is a bit cut off on my screen here, hold on. We could see how do we want to be alerted, either by email, desktop, or both. And so we toggle these on and off at the bottom here. When we have that all figured out, we click save. For me, I'm still keeping the alert toggled off, and so it's still not on, but I've adjusted some of the details. In the second section here, we can see our task alerts. And so for me, I'm receiving a task anytime I have a task due tomorrow, just in the desktop. And so that's what's showing in that beginning area of the actions module. And then I'm also reviewing anytime that the task is overdue on the desktop, and this should be specifically for the task owner. And so I'm going to add a condition that the assigned to equals me. And I think that should clean up some of the overdue actions that we were seeing before tasks. And then similarly, lead alerts, contact alerts, organization alerts, deal alerts. You can toggle these things on and off. And then you can also, in this upper right-hand corner in the blue button, add alerts, essentially create your own alerts. So what is it? An activity alert, an engagement alert, a smart alert. How do you want to be notified? What module is it coming from? And then build out the message and the conditions that apply. So this is very handy if you're tracking, again, certain things specifically and don't want to go manually look for that information on your own. You could set up an alert with whatever conditions that you need, and then rest assured that anytime that event happens, you'll then be seeing either an event, task, or alert, just today alert happening in this right-hand panel. Going back to configure the alert rules, this little bell in the upper right-hand corner above add alerts, you can choose whether or not you have your notification sound, whether or not you receive notifications for group records. I follow a number of different group records, so I keep that turned on. And then how often do you want to receive the email alert? Do you only want it at a first occurrence or every time it occurs? Engagement alerts, similarly, these would be anytime that a contact is interacting with something that you've sent them. Because I am not related to a lot of the sales pieces of tracking, I don't have a lot of these turned on for myself. Mention alerts. Definitely the most important one to keep on in my mind. It's anytime you or the group that you're involved in are mentioned with that at symbol, so at Kara, at Mohit, at Joy. I do not turn those off. And then smart alerts um, are a bit more specific, related to deals or certain approvals or modules. And so you can configure these for your own needs as well.